they're trying to stop democracy, in my opinion. They are trying to stop the elections because they know they're going to get mullered. No taxation without representation is the way this country should work. Still going to take the taxation off you, aren't they? And they're still going to want money off you, despite the fact they're effectively unelected.
All the headlines about Labour are looking at cancelling a lot of the local elections in May across the country. Why they're doing it, why they're getting away with it, is there a legitimate reason for this, or are they jumping on something here because they're scared of being demolished at the local elections? What's your take on this?
My take is, though, I think the explanation is definitely what you just said. They're trying to stop democracy, in my opinion. They are trying to stop the elections because they know they're going to get mullered. And that will mean at the end of a lot of cabinet jobs for these people who are simply not fit to be there. It will probably mean a leadership challenge for Starmer. How that works out in a no confidence vote, I don't know. Um, they are using the proviso, well, sorry, no, they're using the disguise, if you will, that they're reorganizing these councils. So the councils themselves, if the elections took place, these new councillors will only be in place for a year or two while the reorganisation took place. Then we'd have to hold fresh elections again. So they're trying to say the cost of doing that really isn't worth it. Now these people haven't been concerned so far about wasting billions upon billions of pounds of our money. So a few million quid on elections to make sure democracy actually takes place is good enough for me. What I fear is they're going to try and effectively bribe some of these councils by saying, well, we'll extend your budget for a couple more years. You'll also stay a councillor for a couple more years. You can stay in your nice little jobs in the county councils and stuff. I don't think they'll get away with it. I think the backlash will be horrendous. I think it'll be massive. Even the Nazis couldn't stop an election taking place in this country. So I'll be damned if I'm not going to be on the streets myself marching to stop these people trying to stop our vote. No taxation without representation is the way this country should work. And if you are not able to represent your representative in your area, wherever you may be, then you are not choosing who represents you. But they're still going to take the taxation off you, aren't they? And they're still going to want money off you, despite the fact they're effectively unelected.
I saw a headline that said some Tory councils are interested in doing this as well because they know reform are going to wipe them out. So it looks like the Uni Party may be getting together to say, yeah, we know we pretend to hate each other, but our big threat at the moment is not each other. It's this little upstart party called Reform. And we know that we win seats off each other all the time, and that's the game we play. But these guys are different, and we can't allow them to start taking our seats because if they do, it means we won't be winning the general election.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, if that's their thinking, they're going to get wiped out of councils. I think they're overestimating reform maybe a little bit. I don't think the reform are going to take over county councils, for example. I think they'll win some councillors. Don't get me wrong, but they're not going to take over whole county councils. I don't think. But it's certainly the establishment getting together. It looks very much like it, doesn't it? I mean, it's actually odd that Labour would be too bothered about it. To be honest with you, I'm surprised they are. Maybe it is just the rise of reform because if you look at how many county councils in England and Wales are actually controlled by Labour, the number is a big fat zero. So it's, I mean, out of 21, it might just be England that out of 21 counties, 21 county councils, sorry, these councils that are run, 19 are Tory, two are Lib Dem, and that's it. I think that might just be England. You have to check me on that. But Labour don't tend to win county councils. They tend to do quite well in local elections, in small wards and stuff like that. But they don't, like borough councils, but they don't tend to do well in county elections. So really, Starmer could kind of just turn around and say, "Oh well, we've never done that well traditionally, anyway." And if he wanted to pick a fight with democracy, I mean, there was bigger fights he could have picked than this. He really didn't have to effectively try and stop democracy when everybody, I don't care how they try and word it. I thought that Jim McMahon, the minister for local government, I thought he just made a gaffe when he said it. I didn't genuinely believe they were going to do it, but it looks like they are going to try and do it. And it doesn't surprise me at all that some of these Tory councils are going to go, oh yeah, we're up for that. A couple more years, no problem. We don't have to face the electorate again. We'll keep cocking areas up by putting low emission zones in and that nobody voted for. So yeah, I think they'll be perfectly happy to sit there for a couple more years, and it is definitely the uni party, the establishment, trying to hold back reform. But I tell you what it'll do: it'll just make people more angry, more frustrated. They can't get their voices heard on the streets. They can't campaign. They get locked up. They can't post on Twitter or Facebook and stuff. And now they can't even put a cross in a box to say who they want representing them. All it's going to do is send Reform UK shooting up in the polls once again, and the establishment are too thick to see it.
That last point there, the establishment are too thick to see it. I'm beginning to think that is the way because of a lot of the gaffes the Labour have made since they've been in power were all predictable. Even for idiots like me who are a little bit involved in politics, but I'm no political genius. I don't. You know a lot more about what's going on than I do. But even I can see things like taking the winter fuel allowance away from pensioners was going to cause them a big headache. Giving away strategic naval bases was going to cause us a headache. Talking about giving away stuff out of the British Museum was going to cause us headaches. Raising taxes, all these things we know were going to cause us headaches. And unless they were going to get a huge bonus from somewhere else to compensate for the headaches they get, it's horse trading. But I don't see where they've got any benefits of any of these policies that are driving them out of office. Where where's the bonus for penalising pensions? Which votes are they attracting because they're losing all those votes? I don't know why they're doing half the things they're doing. It makes no sense.
Maybe it's a school of Dutch policy. Maybe they're not as daft as they look and act. Maybe they genuinely know that come the next election, the landslide, which Corbyn correctly called a loveless landslide, is gonna collapse, and they've got absolutely no hope whatsoever of being re-elected. And as such, Starmer knows that he probably won't see out the 5 years. He probably won't see out 2 years, if he's lucky. And maybe he's just thinking, I'm going to do as much as I can, as quickly as possible, and hopefully I'll leave some sort of legacy behind, effectively a scorched earth policy of whatever socialist crap he wants to inflict on the people of this country. That's the only excuse, because they've done nothing since they got in, apart from annoy and isolate pretty much every demographic of people you can think of, whether it's students, whether it's pensioners, whether it's the white working class of this country. They've all been demonized. They've all had costs going up, and farmers as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention farmers. And there's absolutely, you're quite right. There's absolutely zero political gain in it for them. So I cannot think for a second why they would want to pursue this agenda. But maybe this is genuinely their belief systems. They've never grown up since they were in sixth form or whatever, or in university, and they just want to carry on behaving like that.